Reggie Jackson, DeAndre Jordan, the two heroes of the Denver Nuggets second unit that were, I've got to be honest, Swipa, I did not expect this from that duo. Obviously, we're recording this a couple days after they have their heroic moment in LA, but let's just start with that. What the hell happened in Los Angeles?
Yeah, I think this is just a team that has an identity. Uh, there are players in this team that have been through a lot. Obviously, DJ and Reggie, they are veterans. They're older players. They're all in their mid 30s, and I think some of this is, man, they just, especially versus the Clippers, man, the Nuggets, they just are not a quit team. They don't quit. Even if they're down 20, they're going to continue to fight. They're in playoff games. They don't quit. Clippers are the opposite of that. They are quitters. They will not fight through. They will not overcome adversity. They just have not done it up to this point yet either. So I think some of this, man, is the Nuggets found a system between Reggie and DJ. I think they just found that Reggie Jackson might just be best utilized by having a vertical spacing big. That's a big body, and that's a rebound. And maybe the Nuggets just need that. Maybe they just need somebody that can rebound and fight on the inside. So I'm wondering, Ryan, with that development, would it make sense for the Nuggets to basically build out their bench, play the young guns, but really the fulcrum of what they're doing with the bench unit? That way they can get some easy buckets and have some easy offensive actions they can get to is by having Reggie Jackson and DJ be the primary options in terms of how we're going to build our second unit.
It's fascinating. And I think one of the things that Denver has struggled with is that lack of identity, right? It's you don't necessarily know what to expect from the group. For Malone last year, the identity was defend, rebound, and run. It was you got to get out in transition, you got to get stops first, and then we'll just figure it out from there. But with Reggie and DJ, those guys are professionals. Those guys know how to play, they know how to run a real pick and roll. And it does help the rest of the group, right? Like Jamal at that point, if he is staggering with the second unit, he can play off ball a little bit. He can create off ball in those shooting guard minutes as opposed to always having the ball in his hands and always being a guy who needs to create everything. Julian
Mhm.
Strother, I think, would benefit a ton from being in a situation like that where, hey, we're going to simplify the floor. We're going to simplify your reads. And if you're open, shoot it. If you're not, drive it. Like there are several reasons why they should go to this. And I think part of it is that Reggie and DJ, they are less cooked than I thought they might have been. I think those guys
Right.
are probably a little bit better than I expected at the beginning of the year.
You think Reggie Jackson been the sixth best Nugget this year?
Oh, no question. Like, I think you got to put the five starters first, but beyond that, like, I think there's no question that Reggie's been the sixth best. He's been the best player off the bench. Christian Brown has had some moments for sure, but I do think that
Right.
Reggie's the guy that they've committed to. They've wanted him to step in those moments, and he has been willing to step up.
That's probably a player that's shocked the most. Maybe the player that has most overcome expectations. I think a lot of people when they resign him for a 2-year deal, like $10 million, Reggie Jackson, Calvin Booth, what are you doing? Like that just seems like a lot of money for a player that seems to be a little bit over the hill. It's not 2021 anymore. And then Reggie, has a 35 point, 13 assists, 14 and 19 game, 5 rebounds, and absolutely is the best player in the court with Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and James Harden and Russell Westbrook. So here's the thing. I think that Reggie right now, I think Reggie, if I had to build a second unit right now, it'd be Reggie, Julian Strawther, Christian Brown, probably Peyton Watson and DeAndre Jordan. And then I think DeAndre Jordan, obviously, depending on the matchup you're in, maybe it's Zeke Naji if you need to have more switch capability. But Zeke had a good game. He had that same game versus the Clippers had 8 points and 7 rebounds, 7 offensive rebounds. And so he's trying. But if you had to, I mean, do you just think you just trust Reggie? You just trust DeAndre Jordan more than you trust Zeke Naji, and you just think you're going to get more consistent play from him?
I kind of do, and here's why. Like one of the things that Denver kind of has happen when Zeke is out there on the floor is they take advantage of his skill set, right? And his skill set is to switch everything. It's to guard on the perimeter. It's to cause chaos on that side of things. And there were some good times where he did it. Like there were some misses that he forced. There were some good defensive plays that he made. He had 3 blocks in that game, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a lot of good that comes with it. The
Right.
unfortunate thing is that the chaos sort of allows for offensive rebounds. It allows for cross matches too often. It allows for mismatches too often because not all the time, like Zeke is going to get some stops. He's not going to get all stops. And there are other matchups where if he doesn't get that stop, then it's always going to be a bucket because there's an offensive rebound when a center is switched out onto a shooting guard or a point guard because those guys are just going to run to the rim. And so I kind of like the idea of just playing drop defense, is just simplifying it, making it easy, and having DJ rebound under the rim. And I don't think that Zeke can do that. They haven't really tried with him. And I think that there's a reason why they haven't tried.
Right. Yeah, again, man, I really want Zeke to work out, and I think
Me too.
he's really young. He has time, but again, as we saw this, the Nuggets they're not in a time. Calvin Booth did say something. It's not about just winning next year. He said this in the press conference to start the year. It's about winning for the next several years, winning 3 out of 7, 3 and 6, whatever it might be. So I get that, but honestly, if you look around the NBA, the window is wide open for the Nuggets. Like they're just they're still the best team in the NBA. They got the best player in the NBA, and I think the best starting 5 in the league. And now it's just about figuring out the bench and how they need to play together, how they need to operate. And right now, I guess until Zeke Naji gets up to speed or you find another replacement for him, for me, I just think Reggie and DJ plus the 2 young guns and Christian and Peyton, and then plus Julian. It just seems like you've got floor spacing with Julian and Reggie. You got somebody that can 3 players that can dribble ball hand, which is Christian, Julian, and Reggie. And then you get DJ. So you can all do similar actions with DeAndre Jordan and Peyton Watson. Obviously, is the defender. He rounds out the game more offensively. I don't know, man. I just feel like that might be the best thing they can do right now, given where they
To your first point, there is a responsibility that Calvin Booth has to maximize this particular year because Nikola Jokic is playing the way that he is. Like when you have a guy like this, you can't let things fall through the cracks. You have to make sure that you're covering as many bases as possible and make sure that when you enter the playoffs, you're in a situation where you feel confident about that. So I don't know if DJ is going to be the answer in the playoffs. I think Aaron Gordon's still going to be the guy that they decide, hey, we're going to run you a backup center. There are still lineup combinations that they're going to have to find, maybe with Porter at the 4. There's some stuff that I like there, especially with the second unit, where if you're running a 1-5 pick and roll with Reggie and DJ or Reggie and Aaron Gordon or somebody like that, Porter's going to lift on the single side and he's going to have plenty of space to operate and plenty of space to shoot. So there's a lot to
are. Right.
like in some of those combinations. And also, like we talked about earlier with Jamal, it makes things easier for him in some capacity. So I like going with Reggie and DJ. It may not be DJ in the end, but there are still some reasons to believe, still some reasons to
Right.
like it.
Right. Well, y'all, what do y'all think? If you could put together your most ideal Denver Nuggets, not Jokic really, but bench unit with the starters off the floor, what would it be? What would a combination look like for you? Let us know in the comment section. You can like, share, and subscribe. Again, we are here at Mile High Sports. This is Ryan Blackburn, aka Ryan Sharpburn. This is your boy Swipa, continuing to give you your great NBA Denver Nuggets content. Y'all know what time it is. We will see y'all on the other side.